Hey, hi, good evening. This is Everett's Watercolors. Welcome to my studio and new classroom, and welcome to Simply Drawing with Everett. And I'm broadcasting from Chesapeake, Virginia, to the rest of the world. I'm on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Those are the four stations I'm out there broadcasting to. And if you're live with me tonight, uh, sign in. I've got the chat room on in my studio with my wife Gloria.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, she's there. She'll look at the she'll track the chat room and also keep the broadcast going smoothly. Uh, what I'm going to do tonight, we're going to do a little drawing here of the face again, but this is going to be the three-quarter view, which is probably one of the favorite views that most people do when they do a portrait is a three-quarter view. So let's go and take a look at my model that I have. I got a picture which I'm going to draw from, and I'll go through the steps that I do when I draw a three-quarter view. So let's go to my close-up camera. So this is the picture I have here to go by. A gentleman here, and I'm not gonna paint in the tattoo or logo on his face. So what I'm gonna do is kind of go through this. What I did last week, I also showed you a little trick I have. Uh, in order to start out with the silhouette, and I've learned the easiest way for me to get started is I take a piece of tracing paper and I just go ahead and trace in the silhouette of the head, and I make sure I capture the forehead down past the nose into the chin area, and then the jawbone, and on around to the top of the skull. So that gives me a better idea to get a better likeness of the individual I'm trying to do a drawing from. And I also do it freehand, but a freehand you just would draw the shape there, but then you have to kind of double check everything a little more carefully. So let's move on to the next step here. Once you get the silhouette in, and I'll go ahead and draw them in. Now I've got my tools I'm using tonight. I'm going to use the HB pencil. That'll be my drawing tool, HB. And I have my old yellow number 2, which is going to be the one I'm going to use this for sighting, which I'll make measurements for the face, different angles, and so forth. So I use the yellow pencil for sighting, and then I have an eraser to erase some of the guidelines. And I'll be drawing with uh, the Sharpie tonight just to darken up the lines so you can see what I've drawn. Okay, so that's the tools I'm going to use tonight. So let's start out with first of all, I've got the silhouette here. I got the silhouette already drawn in from what I showed you how to do it. Now I use how to get the silhouette. What I do is I take my tracing. I take the tracing paper and I take it over to a window, and I have a plastic clipboard, so it's easy for the light to come through that. So I take this over to the window, or even up next to the TV screen or the computer screen, and I put the tracing paper underneath the drawing paper, and I trace the outline of the head. Now that way I've got a good contour of the face. So that's how I get started. So that's the first step, is to get a good silhouette of the face, the skull down to the jawbone, around to the side of the face. That's the first step. The next step is to locate the center line. Now the center line, now we're facing a three-quarter view. The center line is a little different than what we have on a normal view. What we have to do is so I did another step. Step 2, I took the photograph and I made a black and white copy. I took the color photograph and just did a black and white copy so I can mark up. Now, the first thing I do is I find the center line, it'll start at the middle of the bridge of the nose and the top lip, the middle of the top lip. And that's the center line. So you locate the center line of the individual, and then from there we will we'll draw, we'll get the, parallel to that. Now, perpendicular to that will be the eye line, the nose line, the mouth, and the chin, and even the top of the scalp. So that once we get the center line, the center axis lined up, then we can locate the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and the chin, which is very important. All right, so what I do here now is I line up, as I say, it's the center of the bridge of the nose down to the center of the upper lip. So on my drawing now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the angle that I have, and I come over, and I can locate that on the picture. And I take that angle, and I come over here, and I get that line, and I draw that in. So that's the center axis, the middle of the bridge of the nose, down to the middle of the upper lip. Okay. So now I've got the skull, and I've got the axis line right there. I'm not going to draw anything in dark yet until I get everything located. And the next thing I do is I sight the eye. So let's. Oh, okay. What I can do here now is I can go. At least I get the chin line in. So what I do is I get from the center line. From the center line, I can locate the chin. The chin is going to be parallel or perpendicular to that center line. So that's the center line right there, perpendicular to the chin. Okay, and that's also located here on the photograph, right here. All right, now I can go ahead and sight in the, let's get the eye line. Let's locate the eye line. So I'm going to go from the chin line. Use my yellow pencil, sorry. You can use anything, but I'll use a yellow pencil as my. The eraser will be at the eye line, which is perpendicular, and I've got the chin line already identified. So I'm trying to find the eye line, and there it is, right there. Okay. So then I go up to my drawing. I go from the chin line up, and that locates the eye line right there. Okay. Then I draw that perpendicular to the center line. Now we're kind of eyeballing this. You make them perpendicular as perpendicular to the line. You just eyeball it in. Okay. Now we do the same thing with the nose. We'll find the tip of the nose. We put the tip of the nose in the eraser, and we go to the chin line with your other thumb. And there's that. Okay, then I find the tip of the nose from the chin line. I point right there. Okay, so that's the nose. That's the tip of the nose. Now we'll do one more measurement, and that's the middle of the mouth line. The mouth line here. We go ahead, put the tip of the eraser there, and go to the tip of the eraser on the mouth, and then we go use the other hand and put it right at the chin. We go over here to our drawing, onto the chin, and then we got the mouth line right there. That's perpendicular. That line is perpendicular. Okay, I can do one more. I'll do one more measurement. That's the brow line where the eyebrows are. So let's go from the chin. We'll get one more mark. Put the on the eyebrow. You can see here if you look at the picture. His eyebrow goes perpendicular, both eyebrows are perpendicular to that center line, right there. So I can locate that by sighting. I sight it with a pencil. I'll put the eraser on the brow line, on the eyebrow line, and then to the chin. And then I'll go up here and measure from the chin to the eyebrow line. And it's right there. Okay, so then I can put that perpendicular line in. All right, so now I've got just about all the major features of the face located. Okay, now the one other step we can check here. Let's see. It looks here now. If I look at the photograph, I can see the ear is right on the brow line. Right on the brow line. The tip of the ear, the top of the ear is right at the brow line. I come down to the tip of the nose, and that's where the bottom of the ear is. So the ear goes from the brow line all the way down to the tip of the nose. So I know it's here. Tip of the nose is here, and the brow line's up here. Okay, sorry. Well, see, the first thing I want to get in, now I got pretty well located just about everything I need to go, and now we're going to start drawing stuff in. Let's first of all, let's solve the shape of the nose. And here's where we start drawing. I'll take the HB pencil to do that. So I've done all my sightings. Now we go by contour lines, and I've got the eye line. So I'm going to follow this curve here from the axis to the top of the brow, down to the eye line. It's just short of the axis. It's just short of the central axis. Then his nose comes down, and the tip is down here. Now the cheek, on a 3/4 view, the nose is almost at the side of the cheek, not quite. And here he's just a little bit short. So I'll come down, and it's I'm getting this shape right here. I'm looking at the shape of the eye socket, and the outside edge, outside of the nose. So I'm drawing this shape in right here. I'm drawing a shape above the nose, which is the eye socket, and at the top of the cheek. Okay, I got that in, all right. And then the nose comes down below the tip of the nose, and his nose comes down a little bit. And then now we can locate the eyes. I got the eye line, so this one eye is right here on the eye line, right here. I can draw that eye. I got the eyelid in, which runs from the corner of the eye over to here, and the eye is right there. And the eyebrow runs up here. I might as well get that in right now too. Get the eyebrow in a little bit below there, right into the edge of the nose. All right. Now the other eye, we can measure that. We'll sight that in. And take the tip of the eraser from the center line. The inside of the eye is right there, right where the red is. So let's go in here and look at that. Right there. So now I located the inside of the eye. That's the inside edge. Now let's get the width of the eye, because the width on a 3/4 view, the eyes are different sizes because of the angle of the head. So now we're going to get the width of the eye, and this is really critical. The last real critical step. The rest kind of fall into place. I'm going to go from the corner of the eye to the outside edge of the eye, and that's right there. Okay, so I got that measurement. About right there. And I'm going to draw that in. All right, so I got the size of the eye. Now I'm going to use contour drawing now. This contour drawing, looking at the shape, seeing where the line is below and above the center line. And then that's the corner of the eye right there, which is below. Comes up. Now the eye comes in about right there. Now the eyebrow, again, I'm going to use a little contour drawing. I'm estimating it in with the shape of the use the eyebrow line. Is just below it here, comes over. That's above the eyebrow line over here. I roughed in the eyebrow line. Okay. Now, if you look at this edge here, the edge of the nose runs right there at the edge, right at the inside of the eye, right there. So I can come down from that, straight down, parallel with the central axis, and I've located the side of the nose. So the side of the nose is right here, and he has one nostril in here. You can only see one nostril here. This curves around a little bit, and the eye here, it goes in, so his eye's right here. Eye socket's right there. Okay, now let's take a look at the mouth. I can draw part of it here. I got the center line, and I got the upper lip. It's just short of the cheek. The cheek's right there, but just short of the cheek. And the lower lip comes down. It's a little bit wider. A little bit wider than the upper. Okay, now I get the width of the mouth. Let's see where that falls. It should fall from the eye iris right down. It doesn't quite hit the edge. It's come more to the side of the eye. Comes the edge of the mouth. So this part over here would be the side. Would be the width of his mouth. With the iris, left side of the iris, it comes straight down to the side of the mouth. So that would be the width of his opening. He's got a slight grin, so that it curves up slightly. Okay. All right. Now let's locate the ear. We'll sight that in. Let's see. We're going to go from the center line to the back of the ear. Just sight that in. I'll go in here to. I'll use the yellow pencil again. Outside the ear. The center line is right there, so we'll get that. Runs about right, so it just goes on the edge of the skull. That's where it hits. If you look at the photograph, the edge of the ear is right along the edge of the skull, right there. So it's just a little curve. Use the HB pencil to draw. And it comes down along the side of the cheek. And right here at the nose line, the ear comes up. And it comes around here. Okay. Now I can go ahead and do a little bit of contour drawing here of the inside of the ear, just a little bit, just a couple little shapes in here. Just doing the shapes as I see them. Just to get a little bit of character there. Okay. Now he's got a beard on. We can kind of rough that in a little bit too. We can rough in the beard. It comes down straight to the jawline from the ear. Okay, we can finish up a little bit later. Let's get the neckline now. The neckline, it comes off, the hairline comes down behind the ear. You can see the angle from behind the ear, the neck angles out slightly. So we can kind of judge that in. And about right there. And the front part of his neck, let's see, we can go from the center line. Let's get the front of the other part of his neck here. We can bring it in just and do a better guesstimate. It's about right there. Okay, and he's got a shirt on. We can draw the shirt kind of shirt thing. He's got something wrapped around his neck. We can put that in. Okay. Now let's go ahead and rough in the beard a little bit, just so we get the hairline set up. So we got the hairline here. It curves up past the brow. It goes in here a little bit, and then it goes up this way. Then over top, we can kind of rough that in a little bit, and then he has a hair that's in the wind, blown out a little bit. So over there, okay. And his beard goes all the way down to his chin. this chin line. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Sharpie now and start drawing in some darker lines now. Okay, so let's start with we started with the nose, so let's start with the line of the nose. Over here, we got the nose line, and then from the top of his nose here, we got the eyebrow. Go ahead and put the eyebrow in. And then the eye, we can put the eye in. Okay. And now the other eyebrow is a little bit lower than that and arches up slightly. Kind of rough that in a little bit. So I'm drawing this so you can see exactly what I drew with the pen. I got the pencil line there, so all I'm doing is just copying what I've done. And then the eye, he's got the upper lash, the upper lid is over the eye. And this comes down up to the corner. And his eye is right in there. He has an upper eyelid. The upper eyelid over here. Okay. Then the side of his nose is, I've already got that marked in. I'll mark that. And that comes down here. And his nose, we have a nostril here. We'll put that in. And go down to the mouth. Then we got the center of the mouth, the center of the lips is right here. I drew that in by pencil. And then his upper lip is slightly here. Here's the center right here. That's the one we were talking about at the very beginning. They get the central axis. There's the middle of the upper lip. And then it comes over here, and it's much smaller than the bottom lip. There's the center of it right there. And then the bottom of the bottom lip comes down, curves around to here. Up to that point. Okay. There's a little bit of, he has a little bit of, below the lower lip, he's got a little dent here in his chin. Okay. And I'll go ahead and draw the ear in too. The ear, and then we'll do the head. I'm kind of doing this backwards, but I'm going to get the features in first, and then we'll fill in the head. I drew all this in with a pencil first to kind of get my bearings. With I cited all this information in. Okay, and here I'm just drawing what I see, drawing the shapes. This is the thing about drawing a face or a head. It gives you a lot of practice on drawing shapes. Now we'll get the shape of the head in. The hairline comes up here. So we'll get the shape of the scalp in. Now his hair is combed down this way, so we'll go ahead and put some lines in. Again, you don't have to draw every hair, but just put enough indication here of how the hair falls. And his hair is kind of a medium length. It comes across the ear a little bit, then it curves up to the temple. And this angle here comes down. It comes down near the front of the ear. So then it comes down to just below the eye level, right below the eye level there. Then it starts to become the beard starts to fall down. I can use little lines, kind of bring that in. Now the rest of the hair, we'll take that up here. So it goes up to the forehead. And then up here is kind of, he's in the outside, so it must be the wind blowing a little bit, so his hair is kind of scattered. We can put a few loose hairs there hanging over his head. And it comes down, and there's a couple over here on the side of his head over here. Just kind of rough that in. Okay, now the forehead comes down, and the brow line is right above the eye. Then it curves in, and then the cheek line goes out just before the nose, starts to curve in, and around the lips there's a cheek line there, and it goes down, and the chin comes over. The chin comes over here, around this way, and then his jawline, we can draw that in. And the back of his head, he's got a little bit of hair here underneath the ear, behind the ear, a little bit of back of his head showing next to the neck. We put that in. Then we can go ahead and draw in the sketch in the chin. I did all this with the pencil, so I can go ahead and very quickly put in the marks with the Sharpie, just to show you where my pencil lines were. And this is just indicating the beard he has on his face. Doesn't have to be accurate, just a few things here, and he's got a mustache up here on the face. There's all this facial hair, but that's part of the photograph. That's part of the person, so it'll identify who it is. And then this comes down here toward the end of the chin. So the beard goes down below the chin. There's a couple open areas here. And underneath the chin, it's a little thicker there because it's you're seeing a little bit of dimension. So a little shadowing there underneath the chin. So we'll put a little darker there around the chin line. Okay. And then the neckline comes down here, and the front of the neck is over here. And then there's a t-shirt he has on, and he has some kind of, I'm just going to put it in as a little squirrel. I don't know what that is, but it doesn't matter. I'm just drawing in the shape. Just drawing in shapes. That's all you do. You just draw what you see. Doesn't matter what it is. And then come down here and draw on the shoulder. And the shoulder line over here is about right here. Okay. Okay. That's my 3/4 view of a face, and it gives me a pretty good likeness of the individual. And last week we have a frontal view, so that's what I'm looking forward to next week, is a frontal view. So this is the 3/4 view. Now this was the diagram, or this discussion how to do it tonight. Here's a couple. Now I did a freehand one a couple days ago with just a pencil and estimating the face and so forth. And I did the same thing. I sighted the eyes and the nose and so forth. But this was my this is a sketch I did tonight here in the pencil, and with a Sharpie also. And this is the one I did a couple days ago just by looking at the face and then doing it freehand, okay? Almost the same, not bad. I did a little estimations here. And I'll just show you one more example. This was another head. This is facing the other way. But I did the same thing. I lined up the nose. You can see the center of the nose down to the middle of the lip. That's the center line. From the center of the nose down to the middle of the lip. Then I got the outline of the scalp using using a piece of tracing paper. I got the shape of the head. I took a second version and got the shape. I got the middle axis of the face, and then the eye line, nose line, and face and mouth line. That's very important. And then I did a drawing based on that sketch. And I kind of follow the contour of the face and so forth. And I got a pretty good likeness of that one also. Okay, so the technique does work. The technique does work. Okay, well that ends my discussion tonight of the three-quarter view of the face. And next week we're going to do one more, which will be the frontal view of the face, which I think is also an interesting drawing. And so I look forward to seeing you back here again next week at 7:30 on Thursday. And in the meantime, give me some comments or some questions, and also tell your friends about what I'm doing, and invite them in to see me also next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm also on at 2 p.m. Thursday Eastern Standard Time. I do a watercolor class, a watercolor demonstration. So you're welcome to see both of those. So until next week, you all stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.